Hey, what's going on? Eric Cortina, Texas Barndominiums. As you can tell behind me, this Barndominium is completely foamed, but also you can see we have an ICF room here in the corner. Today we're going to see which one's more efficient, and we're going to be using a FLIR thermal camera. Stick around. Alright, so first and foremost, I need to check the foam. Make sure the foam guys did a good job, because we're going to be drywalling this thing next week. Okay? You can go around, take a look at the whole thing, kind of look for voids, look for anything that they may have missed. You know, look down here. The obvious places they're not going to miss anything. Okay? Where they're typically going to miss anything is around the windows. And here you can tell they got it nice and sealed. Of course they use poly seal all the way around. That's good. They got some here. That's good. But you have to also look under here. See, this is typically where they would miss stuff. There's a small void right there. There's one right here. Okay. Very minor, but you know, they missed a few things. So, you know, those are the things that you got to look out for. Everything else looks good. Okay. You know, you walk in here, everything looks good. And of course we have bat insulation on the interior wall right there just for sound. But I mean, everything looks good. I can't trust my eyes alone. So I use a FLIR camera. This is a thermal camera. This is a FLIR C3. Come on, focus. Okay, so this thing is a thermal camera. So right there, you know, we're at 75 degrees. I aim it at the window, it immediately goes up. Okay. Of course, that's shooting the window itself, not through the window. Okay, but if you start looking at the foam, for example, we look right here, everything looks pretty good. See those hot spots right there? That one right there. That's where the purlin is. I mean, it's covered up. So it's got foam over that purlin, but I mean the camera would just show everything, right? And if we look over there, you can see right on the wall, you see all those hot spots, and that's because the sun's coming in and hitting that wall. So anyway, this camera shows everything. Okay, so let's walk around. There's a spot. Where's that at? Oh, it's right there. The sun's hitting that. So anyway, as you can tell, this thing works amazingly well. So that's 74 degrees right there. When the sun is hitting it is 82 degrees. So 84 degrees. So there's 10 degrees difference between there and there. So as you can tell, this camera is extremely sensitive, and it's very easy at showing you the hot spots. Now, if I find any spots, for example, let's walk around, see if we can find anything. So the spot that was down here, see, you can see under there. Well, that's hitting that purlin, this purlin right here. Let me see. I mean, overall, it's not bad. That purlin's just gonna catch some heat regardless. But let's see this hole that we had down here. See, you can see it right there. It just flares up. See that? 90 degrees, and the foam is 77. So it needs a little foam right there. Okay, let's walk around. Okay, everything in here looks pretty good. Nice and consistent. Okay, so all this looks good. And of course, this is an interior wall. This one's 72 degrees. This one is still pretty good. Okay, that outside wall, you can see you can see where the sun is hitting it. But anyway, let's check that wall. Everything looks pretty good. All right. Now the roof, I'm gonna start over here and just kind of work my way across. So the roof is thicker than the walls. That's why you see a difference in temperature. Blue is cool, red is hot, or orange, or hotter, you know. But as you can see, we don't see any spots completely flaring up. So this is what I do. I mean, it's pretty quick. Like I said, this is the FLIR C3 camera. You can take pictures, you can set them to your cell phone, all that good stuff. Very, very versatile, and it's pretty small. I mean, I'm gonna set it down right here next to my hand, you know. Pretty small camera, but super, super versatile. Okay. So nothing flares up. Okay. There's a flare up right there. You see that? Slightly. It's right, where is it? But right here. Right there. That's what's flaring up. And I say flare up, this thing is super sensitive. It's 78 degrees, where here is 77. So it's only 1 degree difference. So there's really nothing wrong with that there. All right, now let's look at the ICF. You can see already the door into the ICF room. Look how blue that is. All right, so let's go compare the two. So this is outside the ICF room. There's a small spot right there. And inside the ICF room. 71 degrees. This is outside. Let me step back so you can kind of see the wall next to the ICF room. Look how blue that room is. Wow. It immediately drops down like 4 degrees. Let me walk in here. Yep, 71 degrees. So it's about 4 degrees cooler in here. And as you can see, very, very consistent. So the ICF, if you guys been following the entire series, is insulated concrete forms. What it is, it's a foam block that has 2.5 inches or 3 inches. Let me see. Right here, I can show you right here. You can see we have foam on the outside, then we have concrete, then we have foam on the inside. It's about 2.5 inches of foam. So when you're done, you end up with a 11-inch wall with a 6-inch concrete core. Super, super strong. And of course, super well insulated and super strong. Did I mention super strong? I think I did. But anyway, you can tell the temperature difference is pretty drastic. Of course, so is the echo. You guys can probably, yeah, I know you can. The echo is tremendous in here. This thing is super tight. But anyway, ICF, extremely, extremely efficient. But obviously, super strong. Anyway, let me go back out here and keep checking on this foam. But anyway, this is what we do. This is how we check our foam jobs. And like I said, you can kind of look at it and you can probably find some spots. But even what looks really bad to the naked eye, sometimes it's not once you hit it with a FLIR camera. But typically, if you can see with your eye, you can it needs some attention. Before I continue with the foam tour, let me show you how we ran the electrical on these ICF walls. So on the typical construction, you know, we have the Romex, we staple to the stud and all that good stuff, right? On the ICF, there's no studs and there's really no room to run your wires, right? Because your box needs to be just like that one is. And you can see there's really no place to run wires. Well, what you do is you cut your box in like we did there. We cut a groove, push the wire in, and then we just put foam back inside that groove to keep the wire in place. Pretty simple, really. Did the same thing everywhere. You can see where the groove was. And of course we dropped that wire from the attic down here. How did we get this one here? Oh, there it is. It's hard to see. This one ran across. Okay, so that one went to there, then it dropped down, then it went across to that one, kept going all the way around, back to this one, and then up and over. And this is where we have also electrical. The wires come in right here, because the electrical box is right on the other side of this wall. All right, so the breaker box is right here. Okay, and right there. Okay, there's the ICF right there. So we obviously, before we poured the ICF or the concrete, we stubbed a chase through the wall so that we can do our electrical panel. So just like everything else, it's all about pre-planning, and things get really easy. But if you don't plan ahead, you may run into some problems. So it's pretty easy to understand why these Barndominiums are so efficient. As you can see, completely sealed with foam, and the AC unit, I'm going to show you that right here. So the AC unit is up in the attic right there. We put it right over the ICF room, but that unit is inside the envelope. Okay, so if there's any leakage whatsoever, it's still dumping that air inside the, what we call the envelope of the structure. In a conventional home where you have a ventilated attic, your AC is technically outside the air conditioned space, right? It's in the attic. So, you know, your ductwork is going to be hotter, your unit's going to be hotter, and any leakage that you have is gone. Whereas here, like I said, it's inside the air conditioned space. So the unit itself, because it is inside the air conditioned space, it's cooling itself down as well as cooling the entire place down, right? So obviously that's going to make it a lot more efficient than you know, being out in the open. Okay, not in the open, but being outside as it is in a conventional home where it's in the attic, in a ventilated attic. Now, these homes are extremely tight. Okay, that is the point. We're trying to make these things as tight as possible because we want to be able to control the air inside the structure. Okay, once you make it super tight, we're bringing in the air. We have fresh air intake, but the unit, the AC unit's the one bringing it in. Okay, once it's in here, we filter it, we put it in the house. Okay, if you have vents or any of that stuff, you cannot filter all that. Not only that, a ventilated home will never be as efficient as a tight home. If you don't believe me, go vent your refrigerator and let me know how that works out. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you guys next time. We are Texas Barndominiums.